myself. My name is Joy Amabeta Yaku. I'm currently a PhD student in the US. I lived in Norway and I moved to the US for a PhD program. And this is the first day of many other seminar series. So we'll be having it. I'll try to have it on Wednesdays around this time. But if there is any adjustment, I will let you know. So today is the first day, and thank you all so much for joining and coming in. So, what you're going to expect in today's seminar, I'll just give a brief introduction. I'll talk about Norway's education system for internationals, just in general, because the system is sort of divided into three, I would say, for internationals. And when I say internationals, I mean those coming from outside the EU and the EEA. And then we have those coming from outside of Switzerland. So you would have different requirements. So today's discussion would just be for internationals, those of you coming from outside EU and EEA. So I'll be talking about the application period and the portal. I'll just give you an overview of how the application portal is because they have this centralized system where everyone can just apply to one portal, which makes things easier because you can apply to so many schools at the same time. Then I'll just give you a brief overview of the list of schools that are in Norway that you can apply to. So every webinar day, I will just share or highlight some number of schools. So today we'll be doing about 4 or 5 schools. We'll just focus on those ones. And I'll talk about the general admission requirements because some admission requirements are specific to the course or the program you will be applying to. So I'll be talking about what you need in general, because those are the foundations. If you have that, you're ready to apply to any school. Then we'll go into the funding matters. I know most of you want to hear about that, like the funding matters, like what's up with the funding. And then I'll just conclude and then I will take your questions, which is the most important one to me. I really want to have your questions and try to answer them as much as I can. Okay, so this is just an introduction of myself. Let me just read it. Yeah. So I'm originally from Ghana, as some of you know, and I have a YouTube channel. I'm at Oslo, and some of you know me on TikTok. I'm at Oslo, and some know me on Instagram. So I've just been doing YouTube since like almost 4 years now. And I lived in Norway for 3 years, and I got into a program here in the US. I studied at Norwegian University of Life Sciences, NMBU. It's a university so dear to my heart. I did my master's in economics there, and I'm currently studying a PhD in economics. So I'm excited for this new journey. Okay, so my team and I created this session because I've received a lot of questions on TikTok, on YouTube, in my email, asking me for how they can book a session with me. So my team, we've come up with this link. You can just scan this QR code or take a screenshot. If you feel you need some extra one-on-one time with me to just discuss everything in general, do well to book with us using this link. So there are 30-minute session, 60-minute session, 90-minute session. And if you want a full package, you can get that. And if you're thinking about family immigration and all of that, my team and I would help you along the way. So you can just take a screenshot of this or follow the link there, and it will lead you to our booking page. Okay, so now you're getting started for the whole game. So let's just see Norway's education system for internationals. As I said, for those that are just joining, when I say Norway's education system for internationals, I mean people from outside the EU, the EEA, and Switzerland. So these three people are all they're internationals, but these three categories are internationals, but I'm not going to be talking about those coming from EU or EE or Switzerland. I'm talking about those from outside those areas. So you're an international from say India, Bangladesh, Ghana, Nigeria, everywhere else apart from EU, EEA, and Switzerland. So Norway's education it's solid because I've experienced it. I'm talking about first-hand experience. So The degrees are internationally recognized. Even though I went to a small university, NMB is a small university compared to University of Oslo. University of Oslo has had like laureates and all of that. But NMBU, no, not yet. It's a small university, but it's still internationally recognized. I was able to bring my degree to the US and get into a PhD program. And based on my experiences from Norway, I'm having a very solid foundation here in my PhD program, and everything I've learned can be transferred over here. So the education is solid, it's internationally recognized. So if you're worried about that, don't be scared. And the education is so rigorous that by the time you're done, you would have solid critical thinking. And there is a lot of research. You can even choose to have, if it's a two masters program, you can choose to have 1 year coursework and 1 whole year for research. That's how solid their research is. And because it's a small country, the class size is really small. So you would have like just about close interactions with your professors. Professors are able to talk to you as friends. They're able to just communicate with you like one on one as their peers. And there's also the strong focus on sustainability, which was like it's a new thing that's coming up, and it's I don't know. I'm really big on sustainability now, and Norway is huge on sustainability. Like you can't afford to waste water there. So you can't afford to waste electricity. And the universities are so huge on sustainability, and even this technology and innovation, they're so huge on it, and data protection and everything. And compared to other European countries, Norway has a very strong economy. I think that's the driving force for most of us here. So there are private universities in Norway like other countries, and these are the four private universities I was able to pick out for you. I know some people might be interested in going to a private university, matters for you. So these are the list of private universities I got for you. BI Norwegian Business School is a very, very solid institution. Like it is the LSE of Norway. It's the Oxford of Norway. Like if you say you go to BI Norwegian School, like it's huge. And we have the NLA University College, VID Specialized University, and MF School of Theology. The Y is missing the School of Theology. Like I know a lot of people were asking me for Bible schools and all. This is an option for you. Then I've had a lot of requests on bachelor programs. Like bachelor programs are for a long time now, they've just been mainly in English because this list that I even have here, you can't see the big schools here. Like University of Oslo is missing here because all their bachelor programs are in Norwegian. Like imagine. So Nord University has some bachelor taught program in English. This is a new development. Like up until recently it was just two universities that had like English taught bachelor programs, but now we have a number of them. So this a lot of options for you to choose from. So if you want to do biology, if you want to enter into filmmaking and TV production, there's an option for you. And I even saw there is data science at Christiana University of Applied Sciences, and it is in English, which is a huge win for most of us coming from the international school. Well, for a long time, Norwegian University of Life Sciences, my previous university, has had their bachelor's in English. This like it's gotten the fifth year they've had this program. So it's an old program. It's been existing for long and it's really good because I've had friends graduate from it. I had two friends that did this course and they're now doing their masters in economics. Can you imagine? Because they just make it so open that you can choose or have electives in different departments. So after this bachelor's, if you want to continue to the master's program, it's very easy for you to move into the master's program. So Norwegian University of Life Sciences is an option you can check. And University of Agder, I'll be pronouncing the schools in in Norwegian language because I don't really know how it's pronounced in English. But University of Agder, they've had this program in English for a long time. So if you want to do a bachelor's in English language, this is an option for you. And Nordhof is a small university college and it's sort of private, but they have some options and they even have study abroad. They even have study abroad options. And now Sorry for the echo. Let me just sort that out. Okay, so now to the application period and portal. Let's see the application period. So the key application deadlines you need to know is just know that it's between October and March. And even March is too long. Just know it's between October and December. That's what I put in my head when I was going to apply. So as soon as it's October, I start to search for schools that are open in that period. So as soon as it's 1st October, then you have to start. Attend all their event sessions, attend everything. And just know that you have up until December. December 1st, application closes. That's the timeline I put in my mind. But it's course specific and program specific and university specific. And that's why I even have up until March because some courses still have the application open in March, or some open in January to February, or February to March. It varies. And most schools just open the application for 1 month. After 1 month is closed. You don't have the 3 month windows like other countries. So just take note of that. So as we're speaking now, start planning that application is open. So this is the application portal. It's called Student Web. It has a different translation in Norwegian. It's called Søknads Web. So when you see the Søknads Web, you know it means student web, and that's where you're going to log in. So this is how the page looks like. It's you would have different options to sign in. So once you're not in Norway, you don't need to choose the first option, the ID port 10. You don't need that because you don't have all the details that you need to sign in. FIDA, you don't have that yet. So all you can do is to use this last option. So I think we have some time to go into the page. Okay, let's see if this is going to open. It's not opening. Just a second. Just click this out. So this is a with a link there. So this is how once you've gone to the school's website and you know the school you want to apply to, all what you need to do is to come to Student Web, or even in the university's website, they'll redirect you to this page. And if you know you want to go to Norway University of Life Sciences, I'm always doing promotion for my university. Even though you're going to Norwegian University of Life Sciences, you've checked the program you want to do, you've checked everything, the requirements, you know you have the requirements. Then you can choose the institution. Then you would have the login portal for you. And this is then you would have to now choose a different login details because you do not have the school will just give you what you need to use to log in, which one you can use to log in, and you'll be good. So we'll come back to this in details. If anyone has a question on this, we'll come back there. So let's just go back to our presentation. So this is the map of Norway. Norway's map is a very, 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 very strange map. Like this is just how the whole Norway is. It's a small country. Like this is how it's shaped. So down here is the south. I don't know if you can see it. Down here is the south, and then this part is the middle, but it starts to be the north from this part. Like from here, it starts to be the north. And you can see the popular schools that you know. You can see their position. I didn't get all the universities in this screen, but it just gives you a brief overview of where you'll be located. And anything above here is like the coldest. Norway is a cold country. We know that it's an established fact. The upper you go, the worse it is. So for me, my school was somewhere around here, down here. This is crucial. This is Oslo. This is my school was around here, which is closer down south. So the southern, the downwards you go, the warmer it gets, the bearable warmer it gets. So this whole part, University of Stavanger, good. Bergen, good. Like good. NTNU Trondheim has a very, very funny weather. It rains, it snows. So it can rain, it can snow, it can be summer, it can be fall at the same time, all on the same day. You can have that very, very funny weather. Summer sometimes has a lot of rain throughout, but it's a very, very nice city. And I know a lot of us here looking to study in Norway are just interested in the experience. You want to experience the culture, experience the environment, just experience the beauty of the country. So that's the assumption I have, and I know a lot of you do not mind the temperature or the weather condition or the way the climate is structured because most of us are coming from the warm parts of the world. But it's just a very nice experience. It just gives you this whole ideology of nature, and you get to embrace nature as it is. So this is just a structure of how the map is. As time goes on, if I bring the school, I'll just tell you where it's located with a map. But these are the very popular universities we know. University of Oslo is down here. So Oslo has a very nice weather. Not nice weather, sorry. It's already cold there now. Like so if I say it's nice weather, it doesn't mean it doesn't get cold. It gets freezing cold, but it's beautiful as you go up, down, like yeah. So these are the schools here. Then now I'll just go to the list of schools. I selected five schools that we'll just talk about here. So this is how Norway's schools are structured. I've had a lot of people asking for polytechnic, to do HND, to do post, sort of postgraduate diploma. It's not something that's very, very common in Norway. So the education system back home, I'd speak for Ghana, is different from the way it's structured in Norway. Although there are some similarities. So for instance, they have what they call the universities. Those we know they are universities. Then we have those that are specialized universities. Those ones we know they are specialized. And we have the university colleges. They're the ones closer to what we call polytechnics, but they're not really, really, really polytechnics, but they're just university colleges. They're just smaller universities, and they have this accredited study program. So another universities, we have the Nord University. All most of the universities I've spoken about, and most of the universities because they are universities, they have a wide array of courses. So Nord University, for instance, can have sciences, can have business, can have arts, can have all the courses you can think about, but then it depends on the size of the school. University of Oslo is in this category because they have so many options. They can have PhD programs. So these are the universities. You can take a screenshot of this to see the universities that are available in Norway. So I'll just move to the next screen. Then we have the specialized universities. As the name implies, specialized, it means they do something special. So when you see the name, their English names mean the thing they do. Sometimes it doesn't, but to a large extent it does. BI Norwegian Business School, for instance, you know it's a business school. MF Norwegian School of Theology, you know it's a theology school. Norwegian School of Economics, School of Business and Economics. Molde University College is specialized in logistics. So this one's at a specialized university. So for I had someone who wanted to go and study music. This is a good option for you. So those are the options available. And in the university colleges, these ones are smaller. So getting a visa to attend the smaller colleges becomes so difficult because most of their programs are in Norwegian. They don't even have English websites. Like some of them, they just know they are admitting only Norwegians. You will not go there and go and see an international. The international you see is probably a Norwegian citizen or somebody that has already been in Norway. So these schools, the only one I know someone has applied to or people have applied to when they've gotten success is Volda University College and Østfold University College. Like those two schools, I've heard of people apply to them. But the rest, it becomes so dicey and difficult. Then same with the university colleges accredited study programs. Most of them are the small private universities, and you can it's still the same difficulty in applying for visa. So when it comes to our case as internationals, the best bets or the best options are the universities and the specialized universities. And let's move on to the next page. So This is university. So I said I was going to choose how am I doing on time? I think I still have okay, I'm doing good on time. So University of Oslo, the application portal is open October 15th. As I said, when once it's October, just know that the school has to be they start opening the application portal. So start getting yourself ready. And their deadline is 1st December. For the studies that will start in August. And someone was asking when they would receive their what's it called? Their decision to know if they are going to be admitted. You will receive a decision by 5th April. Sometimes it varies. And the programs have different dates. So this is just a general date. So you would have to go and check. So if you want to do something like European Master in Health Economics, you have to go and check. Theirs open 6th January and closes 1st March. You see, it's different. So you always have to be checking once you know this is what you want to apply to. Then we have NTNU. It's a very popular school too. Like NTNU is there in Trondheim. We saw on the map. The application deadline is 1st December. They didn't specify when it opens, but to a large extent, it opens first 15th October or 1st November. But just make sure you're checking the programs because every program has its own application date. So this EU and Swiss students and EEA students have a different application deadline, and those that already know we have a different application deadline. So just take notes for the non-EU and non-EEA students. That's the one that applies to you. The University of Bergen, they start in, if you're going to start in August 2026, the application portal will open 1st November. So sorry about this date. I got it from their website and they've not updated their website yet. So they still had a 2024 there. I thought of removing it, but I forgot to remove it. But then it's the same thing. Once it's open, you're going to update it to 1st November 2025. And it will close 1st December 2026. And you receive your application results by April 2025. Then next is NMBU in Oars. This is how the town is just two names, like AS is Oars. And the application deadline is December 1. They didn't state when it opens because every program has its own application date. So you would have to check that in the programs. I'll come back to this overview. This overview is just to show us the programs they have in English. But I want to make sure I've covered everything first and I'm able to answer your questions as much as possible. Then we'll come and see the schools into details one after the other. Then there is UIT in terms of when I showed you the map, this is the one on the highest part of the country. Like it's on the northernmost part of the country. They have a very serious weather. If you are going to UIT Tromso, I don't know how to advise you to be fully layered and covered. And I know I saw in the news recently that they are trying to invite more internationals to the north because you can be walking for a whole week, you will not see a fellow black person. I'm speaking for me, like looking for an American, an African. Sorry, you can walk on the street, you will not see a fellow African. Like that's just how it is. It's just Norwegian. So they're trying to open up the northern part and invite more people from Africa to make it more diverse. So I'm sure they will try to put some policies in place, like some scholarships for internationals, because it's that bad. It's cold, so even the people staying there, the young ones are coming down south. But it's cold, but it's still manageable because I have friends there. So there are things you can do to keep yourself more okay and adaptable to it. Even though it's cold, people still live. There are countries that's even colder than Norway. So and people are there. Africans are there. Okay. So now I think I've spoken about some of the requirements, but let's go and see the general admission requirements you need. There are some documents that would apply to every school. So you just need those ones. Have a folder for them, put in all those documents. When you go to the school, you see, oh, they have a course you can apply to. You can just access that folder and upload the documents. So These are the documents you need. Once you get all of this, you should be fine to apply to schools. So the first one is a completed application form. The application form is what you would find in Student Web. Just filling in all the background details, your school, your name, your family name, your father's name, your mother's name, all those things. You fill it on the application portal. Then they'll now give you this option to upload your documents. So they will need your certificate and transcripts. If you're applying for a bachelor's, you need your upper secondary school leaving certificate. I received questions as to whether you can apply with HND. HND, so what you can do, you can actually send your certificate to the school and ask them to see if this is okay. That's why we have admission officers. They are there to help you. They serve as the communication between you and the school. They would help you validate, just to validate your transcript, to tell you, oh, okay, yes, this document is okay and this is what we need. And I just guess that most people that have gone to polytechnic have their secondary school certificate. You have your WASI, as we call it in Ghana, in WAEC or NECO or JAM. I don't know what's called in Nigeria. I think JAM or something. So that's what they need if you're going to apply for bachelor's, and even for master's, you need your upper secondary school leaving certificates. Like it's needed. And Norwegians call it vintermål. That's vintermål. That's the diploma. So that's what they call it. So sometimes they'll tell you submit your diploma. It doesn't mean you've done a diploma. That's just what they call their certificate or their ASI certificate. And they need you to have the original copies of this. Then we need your official transcript showing grades and subject. So some schools have a special certificate difference. So for that applies to those that have done their bachelor's. You have your certificate separate from your transcript. But for WAEC and WASI, I know it's all in one. You don't have a special certificate, and it varies by country. So just have all of those. They understand, they know the country you're coming from, they will verify it. So let me see how I'm doing on time. 30, yeah. So just have all of that, and just have all of that in the original copy, and you need to scan it and send. But it also depends on the country you're applying from. Some countries, they need them to mail it to them by DHL. So you'd have to know country specific requirements too. But just know you should have the original copies of this. Then proof of English proficiency. If your first language is not English or your second language is not English, most likely you'll be asked to prove that you can take the study program in English. So you would need either TOEFL or IELTS or Duolingo, those three options. But it depends on the university. When I went to study in Norway, I didn't need to prove any English proficiency. The university I chose didn't even need to have GRE because of the program I chose. I have taken my bachelor's in English since I was born. All the school I've attended is in English, so I didn't need to show any documents to prove that I can speak in English. All what they needed to see was to get an attestation from the university that yes, the bachelor's was indeed in English, but they didn't even need that. The school I went to didn't even need that. Then you need a copy of your passport or your national ID, but passport for internationals, that's compulsory. Like, as soon as you have it in mind you want to study abroad, get your passport in hand. This is like, to me, a deciding factor. Because when they see, I even have a feeling that's the first thing they check to filter people. Because when they check that you don't have a passport, an international passport to travel. Once they see you don't have that, they'll think, oh, you're not ready. They'll use that to just disqualify you, even though you have every other document or you plan to get it in future. So please take note of that and have a statement of purpose. This is a motivational letter you would write, like stating why you want to apply to Norway, why Norway is part of your goals, and just state why you want to choose this program. Then your CV, a CV that will contain educational background skills, and then have reference letters. I know some investors we ask for one, two. Just make sure you have three in mind. Three people you would want to talk to and ask for their references. So just have this also you can just make them know that this is what you're going to do, because most likely your referees will be the ones to upload the document. So make sure you have this ready. Then proof of financial capacity. This will be for later, but let's go to number 10, which is documentation to show that you can cover your living cost. This is the living expenses, which is currently like 151690. This figure updates. This was for 2025. This money is just to show that you have money to cover your expenses every single day for a whole year. And if you're going to stay in the country for 3 years, all what you need to show is the first years. We'll go into details on this financial matters very soon. So for funding options that are available, you can fund. There are some scholarship schemes that are available, and the next series of webinars will be talking into details about the University Scholarship Quota Scheme. It's a new scholarship that they brought into play when this whole tuition fees thing came. So I'm going to talk into details about it. There is this Erasmus scholarship too, and some universities have their own university grants. So the next webinar we will be talking into details about scholarship and how you can apply and all the documents you need. And you can use your own funds or your family funds and sometimes your part-time work opportunities. But those work opportunities, you would have to be in Norway before you can be able to apply for such jobs. So this is just an overview of how much you need for the period you'll be staying. That's for a period of 1 year, if you're going to stay for a whole year. And this is just a breakdown of how much everything costs. Norway is a very expensive country. I know you've heard that it's very expensive. Rent is really expensive. But that's when you are in Oslo. Oslo is a very expensive city. But the farther away from the city you go, the cheaper it is to live there. But now the problem would be getting jobs. So that's why a lot of people are concentrated around the cities. Then this other category of people that are exempted from paying tuition fees. So you can just take a screenshot of this. I'll go into details. I want to make sure I have enough time for questions. I'll go into details in the next session. We'll be talking about scholarship and all the tuition fees matter. So as I said in the beginning, if you want a one-on-one consultation, just this is the QR code to scan. If you want CV help, application help, everything in general, there are options for everybody. Some people just want to have a quick chat with me. You can just have a 30-minute section. Just scan the QR code. We'll just then book a time that works best for you. Everything is sorted on this. My team and I, we did a great job doing this for you. It's just tailor made. Everything is so easy to book. And if you want a full package to walk you through this application process, this is also an option for you. You can choose the premium package consultation. And there are some people that want to come with your family and they need the family immigration package. That's also an option for you. So now I open the floor to questions. Please, I'll stop sharing the screen so I can see if I have everybody in the meeting. So you can raise your hand, and I don't know, I probably have to unmute you or something. So, and I think I have some questions in the chat. Yes, I have a question from, okay. I have a, yeah, let me see. I think I need to mute you. Um, Try unmuting yourself, book a night, and let's see if it works. Yes, I think that works. But I can't hear you. You're unmuted, but I can't hear you talk. I think the meeting is going to sort of end now, but just in case it ends, join again with the link. I see 59 seconds on the top, so it's supposed to end in 1 hour. So if the meeting goes off, please join the meeting again. Oh, okay. If you can't hear him, then it's a problem from my end. Sorry. Now I think that should work. But join again the meeting. Okay, it didn't end, so we're good. But now I think I should be able to hear you. S-
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's better. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sorry
So how
about
are you
that.
doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you too?
I'm doing good too. So my question is regarding the undergraduates, like are there any schools that accept English that teaches in English,
Yes,
undergraduate schools?
yes, there are. So let me share my screen again with you. There, so you can screenshot the schools. I made a list at the beginning of the presentation. Yes. So this is the list of schools that have undergraduates in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So
thank you.
yeah,
I'll
these are
take
the
a screenshot
full
of it.
universities. Yeah, NMBU, University of Agder, and no, these four universities are like the real universities, and then these small ones, those ones are the small universities. The last two are small universities. So the first four are the full universities. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I see Ben's hand is raised. Ben, you can unmute yourself and
Hello.
yeah, hi.
Please can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, yes. Please, I wanted to say thank you so much for the presentation, but then I had a question.
Yes.
So regards to the proof of funds,
Yeah.
right? Before the visa.
Yeah.
Let's say you don't have that sum of money in your account. What's the best way to go forward with that in order to get
Yeah.
the visa?
Yes, that's a very good question. So the best way you can go, Norway is very kind and generous, and they say you can have a sponsor you. So if you have a family member, a relative, an uncle, an auntie, or even a friend that has the amount of money in their account, you can have them print their bank statements. And now the issue now is with the tuition fees. So the money you should have in your account now should include how much the tuition will cost. Because up until now, we do not know. It's always a thing with Norway. We don't know how much the tuition fees will be next year. Like, that's Norway for you. But for now, we're trying to revise things in January, February, like beginning of next year. But for now, you need the tuition fees plus the living expenses in the relatives account. And so that's about say $40,000 more or less in your account. You just have to show a bank statement, print a bank statement to you, and just attach a letter that they will be willing to sponsor. Just a short letter with their bank statement. That's just it. So that's a very better option. Yeah. Does that answer your question then?
Yeah, so yes, it does. It does. And then also, so if I print this bank statement and
Yeah.
attach to it, right?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have to send. You see, regards to Germany, you have to do like this block accounts thing, send the
Yeah.
money over there,
Yeah.
and all that. So with Norway, I don't have to send the money anywhere. I just have to prove it. And then, what about if I'm traveling? Because let's say I want to assume, can I get someone who is not really my family or anything and just get the person's bank statement and then just do it just to get the visa? And then when I come, I find a way to survive, or I still have to get like a very huge sum of money to survive over there? Or will the immigration also stop me and verify to see if there's actually an account with this large sum of money?
Yeah, that's a good
Did you get
question.
me?
Yes, I do. So the process is in two parts. So first, now is the application period. From now, let's say from now to April, all what you need now is the bank statement of the family or the friend or somebody. Then once you've gotten the decision and the school emails you, congratulations, you've gotten a decision, no, then you will now need to send the money to the school's account. That's if you don't have a scholarship, you have to send the money to the school's account. But now here is the catch. It's different from Germany's block account. So once you get to Norway, you open your Norwegian bank account, they transfer the money back to you. And what my international officer told me was the money is yours. You can do anything you want to it. So if you feel you took it from a relative and you need to send it back to them so you don't squander everything, you can transfer the money back to them. That's the thing with Norway. You get the whole money back as soon as you open your bank account. Unlike Germany, Germany would have to give the money in piecemeal. Every month you receive an amount of money. But this, the money will be with the university before you get to Norway. So by the time you get to Norway, I guess September, October, around that period, you would have your money back, transferred to your bank account, and then you can do whatever you want with the money. Keep some, send some back home, send everything back home, or just keep it with you. Does that answer
Okay,
your
thank you very
question?
much.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, you're welcome. You see Precious hand is up. Hi, Precious.
Hello, thank you so
Hi.
much.
You're welcome.
It's grateful and I appreciate this. A lot of my questions has been answered with
Oh,
your
that's
presentation. Thank you so much. My
you're welcome.
question is, I want to start from the application process
Mhm.
where, okay, the university, I want to apply for a master's program. The university I went is like an affiliated, like maybe a program affiliated to another university. So
Okay.
I don't, will I have to state that in my application, or I just mention the particular university that owns the program? That's my first question. And the second question is education. I just want to ask about education,
Yeah.
like studying in Norway. Is
Yeah.
it will I say something valuable? Is it something that is rampant or like studied? Yes, that's
Okay.
just my question. This
Okay.
is it a course valued in Norway or that applications are very much available for in Norway? And the guy that asked the question earlier, he asked a particular question. I don't think you got it. He
Okay.
said, what if the person that wants to like sponsor you is not your relative or your friend? Maybe from a bank or something, you just like wanted to take a loan or something and then you wanted to use that as proof of funds. So is that acceptable? I want to clear that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for your questions. I'll start with the last one on whether you can use a bank sponsor. Yes, it's allowed. Norway has an option of using student loan, sort of. So I'll assume the bank sponsorship is like a loan sponsorship. So for they're not really strict on the application process or what you submit. All what they want to see is a bank statement, a letter of sponsorship from whoever. The person should just make sure they state your name, that I am sponsoring this person with this amount of money. And when the person gets an admission, they will get, they'll be able to get this sponsorship. Like they'll be able to get the money from me. Like they want that kind of promissory notes that I'll be ready to give the person the money when the person gets admission. So you can use a bank, an organization, anything. But the problem is when they give you the admission, they should be ready to give you the money. So it can be anybody. So you have the student loan option, you have loan from your government, you have scholarship from your government, you have loans from friends or bank statement from friends. That's a sponsorship. They just need to attach a letter to it. That's just the first stage. The second stage is with a visa. Once you get the admission, you need the money transferred to the school. The school will give you a document which will be sent to the visa. Um, the visa, what is it called? Embassy, VFS, depending on where you are. So then they will need to see the physical money. So that's, and then the next question on studies in Norway being I don't know if I really got a question, but I'll try as much as possible to answer that. If it's like, I'll just re-paraphrase, like if it's a solid investment or a solid solid education there, I'd say yes, because I was able to use my degree to apply to study in the US. And anywhere I go in the US and I tell them I studied in Norway, they're like, oh wow. I was really surprised. Just like you, I was having my doubts. I was like, Norway is a small country. Like, who will really value a university? Like someone that comes from a university in Norway. But comparing to other smaller countries in Europe, and those schools even get a lot of like accolades, I'm like, okay, Norway is really good because I know a lot of people that have used their Norwegian degrees to study in the UK, study in like really nice schools in the UK, and anywhere you would want to apply for a job with a Norwegian degree, it's possible. If you don't get a job in Norway, you can always move to a different country. The certificate you get from there is valid and it's solid. Then you asked the question about your university being affiliated to another university. So I'm sure what the school will need is your certificate. They just need to see your certificate. And I have a feeling that the certificate will have all the details of the affiliation. And if it doesn't, they might ask you to attach an additional letter just to prove. But when the time comes, I'd suggest you send that certificate to your school, like the school you would apply to in Norway. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. Once the school is affiliated, you're very good. It's all clear. It shouldn't be a problem. I've not heard it's been a problem before, so yeah. I hope that answered all your questions.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, so the second question, thank you so much for answering,
Yeah.
was English education. I studied education. So I
Oh,
wanted to ask,
sorry. Okay.
yeah, is education a course that is like solid, like maybe popular or maybe demanding in Norway? Yes.
Yeah. For job related, I don't know yet, but there are degrees in English education, and it's really, I know a lot of people that have done English education as a program, as a bachelor's. And the good thing is you can always switch programs if you do not want to do a master's in English education and you want to do something else. But getting a job when you study English education, the job opportunities for you, you can work as a development officer, you can work in an embassy. I'm not really sure, but then I know those are the options. People that have studied English work, like they work with diplomats and they work in embassies. You can work in education if you want to continue in the education line. And I know people that have done that. So it's not going to be a problem studying English because people go to the university in Norway to study like Norwegian education. So you'll be totally fine. I hope that answered it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And any other questions? I still see Ben's hand up. I think you have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see, when there's this thing with let's say United States, where like teaching assistantship, graduate
Mhm.
assistantship, or
Yeah.
those things, right? Is it the same with Norway? Do you get a chance to maybe be a teaching assistant, and then they get to help you with your fees and all those things? Is that a thing?
Yeah, so it's going to be different with the case of Norway, because I'm saying this, I'm smiling because I worked as a teaching assistant in Norway for about 3 4 semesters, but it wasn't a pre-contract. I went there and then I got the job, and it wasn't a reduction on my tuition fees then, because when I studied, tuition was free. So now I don't know if they would ask you, maybe you want the option of adding that money or letting it reduce your tuition fees. I think it will be left for you to decide. But there are teaching assistant opportunities, but it's not giving us an assistantship like the US does. US would give it to you. You can have that, or it can be a research assistant. But those are like individual jobs you can apply to or apply for as a source of extra income. Sometimes some people get about 10 hours of teaching assistant job. I had about 8 hours. No, I had about 4 hours, but I was being paid for 8 hours. Like the pay is really good if you get such. Yeah. But let me just add, the only time you can get like a full assistantship sort of is if you apply for a PhD program in Norway, and that's you be employed as a staff, and not so you'll be paid. Tuition will be free, but you'll be paid every month, like some very very nice stipend, which is going to be like an assistantship, but it's for just PhD.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Then I think Brooke or Naik, your hand is still up. Do you have a follow-up question? Okay. Do we have any
I
other
don't have any
questions?
question anymore.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have another question before I end the meeting? So we'll be having the same next week, Wednesday. And next week, yeah, I see Ruth hand is raised. Oh, I think I have 1 minute more. So sorry,
Ama,
Ruth. Y- Yes, Anthony. The
uh,
meeting ends in 1 minute because it's
okay, a very short one. I'm planning to apply for a conflict resolution and diplomacy course in Norway.
uh
So I want to know, do you know any university you can recommend for me?
you said what can you say it again? I didn't get the name.
I want to apply to this
Con-
program, conflict and
Resolution.
resolution.
Okay.
Yes.
Would have to
So
check. So just send me an email and then I would have to check the list of schools for you. There should be something, maybe not directly the name you mentioned, but something related.
okay,
Yeah. So
okay,
you can always do something related because you would have some elective courses in them. So you can always like
yeah,
do something related.
yeah,
Yeah. There should be something there.
okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Ruth, I think you can ask a quick question before the meeting ends. Let me see. You should have some second start.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I want to ask you some questions. So my first question is, how can we get a scholarship as a non-EU student?
Yep.
And tuition fee is expensive in Norway. So how can we cover that if we didn't get a scholarship? That's my second question. And
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. So there are some scholarship opportunities available, but they're limited to the universities and limited to the country and even the university you come from. But there is another one called the Erasmus Scholarship. I'm going to give more details on that in my next because we don't have so much time. So I'll talk about that later. But I know the option some students use is to work. So they will just try and pay like a whole year's fees. And when they get to Norway, they work hard, like extra hard, to be able to pay the rest of the fees. That's an option I know people have used to pay their tuition fees. So for the scholarship, I'll bring more details in the next webinar. So we can just, yeah.